it's Shara from Shara Made Crochet, back for another video. I hope that everyone had a good holiday season and a happy new year. I went into my new year crocheting, so that was really nice and quiet. So yeah, this is going to be a what I've been up to kind of video, or like my makes video. I only have 3 items to show you, and I will tell you where I got the inspiration from, like the pattern inspiration, because they all came from a pattern. However, they all deviated quite a bit from the pattern. So just a little disclaimer there. But the other items that I have made are going to have to go into other videos because I can't show them to you at this moment. So yeah, let me go ahead and get started with that. So the first one I am going to show you is, hold on, I hope that you can see this. It's a Bolero. This is Majovel Crochet's Pineapple Bolero. And I used pure bamboo from Ice Yarns, which is a fingering weight yarn, and like a 3mm crochet hook. And the yarn comes in an 8-pack, and I still have 5 left over, so I didn't use very much. I did have to deviate from the pattern just a tad bit, and that is to get the size that I needed for myself, because the designer uses one for an extra large. And what I did differently was I did the stitch count differently for this part here, this part here, and this part here. And all 3 are both sleeves and the back. The front is a separate YouTube tutorial by the same designer. This front part right here, the pineapple stitch. She makes the pineapple lace separately, and then you sew it onto the edge. So that's what I did. And I'm going to show you the center of the back because it'll show you. So if you can see, or as you can see, you make 2 of these pineapple lacy parts. I think it's like crochet tape or something like that. I don't necessarily know what the actual term for it is. But you make 2, you sew them together. And then from where you sewed it, that should be the center of your back. So yeah, and then you sew it on. So to clarify, you fold the Bolero in half and you make 1 tape the length of half of the back and up the front, and 1 tape half the back and up the other side of the front. Then you sew the 2 pieces together so that they do this. Sorry, I wanted to make sure I didn't get my microphone. And then you sew the tape to the Bolero, and that's how you get the pineapple stitch on. It was a pretty easy a Bolero. I really liked it. Oh, one other thing that I changed on it was she has you connect it once you get to a certain point, like right here. I didn't do that. I did crochet about 10 stitches and then connected it that way, because I don't tend to trust, I don't like the feel of it under my arm if it's supposedly the proper size for me. It's always too tight. So I don't like it. Then the next one that I did is I used the Mount Tremper sweater by 2 of Wands. Now, it does not look at all like the Mount Tremper sweater because I used a self striping yarn. It does its own gradient by itself. I will say that I color controlled it. The other thing that I did differently is I made it for my son, and he's a 2-year-old. So here it is. There's the front side. And here is the back side. So I made the sweater to match my son's measurements. What I wanted from this designer was how she made the back higher than the front without doing short rows. She has you do something to the back panel and the front panel, and that's how you get a higher back than the front. And I really, really, really liked that. So I did that, and then I was initially going to do a turtleneck, but because the yarn is a gradient yarn, and the way I would do my my turtleneck is I would attach the piece and then crochet my ribbing straight from the source, basically, instead of, I think she has you do the ribbing separately and then stitch it on, and I wasn't going to do that. So I used a crew neck type of ribbing instead because I wanted the ribbing to match and be all one color. There's my washing machine. So yeah, I used a DK weight yarn and a 5.5mm crochet hook. I believe the yarn is Ice Yarn Soft Chain Wool, and that also came in an 8-pack. And one thing I will say about that yarn is that I don't pre-wash. The yarn was very soft. However, I don't know what was like in the yarn, or like I don't know what was going on with the yarn, but I had to do the sweater pattern in short bursts because whenever I crocheted with the yarn, it would make my hands itch, and then wherever my hands touched would itch. So like if I managed to like rub my eye, then my eye would just hate me forever. My face would itch, my neck would itch. It was a horrible experience to work with this yarn. So one other thing that I did differently from the pattern is like I said, I wasn't about to go and I wasn't going to do any more sewing than necessary, basically. So what I did was I kind of did a longer version of the ribbing here. So I think I foundation half double crocheted like 30 stitches and then worked a ribbing all the way around, and then like, you know, join as you go kind of thing. This side matches a lot more. He looks really adorable in it. So, and then the third one that I'm going to show you is the Noel tree skirt pattern by patternparadise.com. I'm hoping that you guys can see this. So here's the plaid, and it's with oh man, that is some dark. There we go. So it's 2 shades of red and a black, And then and it just has that diamond or that poinsettia shaped pattern all the way around, and there's 8 repeats, so there's 8 of those little petals. But it worked for this year. I just used the yarn that I had on hand, so just a white worsted weight yarn. I think I used Hobby Lobby's. I love this yarn in white. And then black and 2 shades of red. I don't really have much more to say to that. So those are all the makes that I have for this video. Until next time, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.